Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to another process video for Project Life 2022. This is the week of May 16th through 22nd. And for this week, I have a number of photos. A lot of them were from when we went to the Capital Reptile Expo. Or Capital District Reptile Expo. I have those. I have my wristband. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to include from those. I printed some photos and I have all of that here. I have my notes, and then for this week I'm going to be working with stuff from my stash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my stash and just kind of look through my cards and pull out ones that I think will go with the stories I want to tell after I lay out my photos and see kind of the sizes and number of cards I need. And then I will go ahead and put the spread together, just kind of using up supplies that I have from no particular kit or manufacturer, but just, going in my stash. And that's something I just like to do every so often because otherwise my stash will always grow and I will never actually use those products. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get that started.
Okay, this one is going to come together super quickly, so quickly that I almost considered not even posting it, but I wanted to share every spread this year, and I think it's important to show that it can be this simple. So I think that in real time, this took me 25 minutes from the moment that I had my photos printed out to getting the entire spread put together. And it was just super simple because I just wanted to use a few cards from my stash. I didn't get too crazy with anything and really just, brought it all together very quickly. So I did have quite a few photos this week, which was fine because I didn't have a ton of stories I wanted to tell. And I knew I was going to be working with my stash, so I didn't have a ton of products. And so I went over to my general journaling cards, and the first three I found were these three that came in a Studio Calico kit earlier this year. And I knew I wanted to use them on a spread together, and I needed 3 here, so I thought it would be perfect. Then I selected the This Week card from the Stories by the Year collection from Allie Edwards from a couple years ago. I just have those in my stash and use them every so often. There are so many in that kit that it'll take me forever to use them. And then I had pulled over a selection of my cards from my stash that have bases for photos, and I selected that blue and white one to hold that photo of, I can't remember what that is, a chameleon or something, that my daughter is holding. And now I'm just doing my journaling here. So my cards that I pulled from were from my stash from my Project Life card organizer, and I will put a link up in the corner to the video where I show you how I have those cards organized. But it makes it very simple to just pull out cards from my stash and use them when putting together spreads. And I'm very cognizant that I make sure that I am using those cards that are in my stash rather than just compiling them, because if I'm constantly adding new stuff and not using the stuff that's already there, that is just not a sustainable system. So for this card, I am just journaling a few bullet point stories, and then the other 2 journal cards I have are for 2 stories from the week. One day I took the day off of work and had just like a me day. I got some errands done. I just spent some time relaxing and just catching up on stuff, and it was great. So I journaled about that on the pink card. And then the orange card, I journaled about our Sunday. We went to the reptile expo in the region because my daughter is obsessed with reptiles, but we will not get one as a pet. And so we went there. And so most of the photos from this week are actually from that day. And we also went out to lunch and went for a walk. And so I journaled about that on that orange card there. Then I pulled out these die cut shapes from my stash that were from an older Studio Calico kit earlier this year. And I just arranged some of them on a few of the photos. I'm going super simple with this spread. I didn't even have a plan for what I was going to add to these to make embellishment clusters. At first, I thought maybe I'd be just that simple, but I needed to add something a little bit more. So I got these chipboard hearts from my stash that are also from Studio Calico, and I absolutely love them. And so I added one to each. And then I got some white word phrase strips from my stash and am adding one of those to each cluster. I should have thought this through before because I want the word phrase strips to be layered under the chipboard heart slightly. And so I ended up having to pull a few of them up. Sorry for my head being in the way of the camera here. to get it to fit under it. And then the chipboard heart just kind of tore. So that wasn't ideal, but I just adhered it back down and it was totally fine. I also forgot to mention on that 3x4 card with the picture, the smaller picture on top of a card that I'm putting in the pocket there, I also attached the wristband from the event behind it just as a bit of decoration and a piece of ephemera. When I slipped it in the pocket, it got a little scrunched up and I totally didn't even notice that. Even after I took the photos, I didn't notice it until I was editing the video, and then I went back and fixed it in my pocket. So unfortunately that was missing, or it kind of messed up here, but I do end up fixing it later. So I hope you enjoyed this quick and simple spread, and leave any comments down below. Thanks.